Today we're going to make a simple mushroom totem, and what we're going to do is inoculate this log with mushroom spawn that we have. I've been doing this for about 10 years and trying to refine the technique down to what is the easiest thing for myself, because I don't have a lot of time. So let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is I've gotten a log about 3 feet long. This one's a red alder up here in Northern California. It takes mushroom spawn very easily and decomposes, and then will produce the mushrooms. I found I can get mushrooms to start with these logs in about 12 months. And what we're first going to do is we're going to chop off the end. So let's quickly do that. Alrighty. We have a nice clean end. Now what we want to do is I want to get the mushroom spawn to get inside of the log. So I'm going to make a hole with the chainsaw. Most people kind of turn it upside down and squash the mushroom spores on top of there, what we're going to use in the bag. But I've found that it takes better, and I can keep the bugs from eating up the mushroom mycelium by sticking it as far in the log as possible. So we made a nice little hole. That should be good enough. What we're going to do now is get some clean gloves. I'm going to do the lion's mane. And what I usually do is first throw the mushrooms on the logs until they finish spawning. And then afterwards, I can take chunks and put them inside of the logs. Get a nice handful. I'm cramming it right on top there. Pack it in, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to put the piece that I cut back on top. Kind of line it up the best we can. Push it down, and then have these nice deck screws. So when logs eventually decompose, I can pull the deck screws out and reuse them because they just don't rust in place. They hold up very well. Screw it in. So I usually do about 4. There we go. Now with the 4, you can actually hold it up pretty well. And that's the log. So it's sealed up pretty well right there. The bugs, which are like sow bugs and beetles, they like to eat the mushroom mycelium, but if you can get that as tight as possible, then you will keep them from eating it, and that will allow the mycelium to inoculate the whole log. And it's perfectly fine to leave it like this. If we want to place it in the yard, you can use it as garden borders, so that way the log always has moisture coming up from your garden, or you can use it in stacks, or you can just stack it up against a tree like this in some other fashion. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to move it over here, stack it up against the tree. Stuff the hole. The hole doesn't have to be perfectly circular, just want to make a hole that deep enough to get enough of this mycelium in there. You don't need too much because the bark will keep the rest of the mycelium on the inside very protected from all the elements on the outside. Now that's flush. I think it was like that. There it is. And again, it's small, so all we have to do is 3. There we go. So there we go. How many logs was that? That was 3 logs? 4 logs? 4 logs.
Yeah.
4 logs. Probably like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah. Let's count them.
We'll figure out what we want to do with these logs later. I'm just going to put them to the side. You can see my old method here was to cut it 3 ways and get it in there. And that worked pretty good, but I found just doing one brings it a little quicker. It's fine. Let's go look at the logs in the back and see if the lion's mane has resprouted. So let's see here. Well, on this log, this is tan oak, and that was lion's mane. That's exactly what the same spawn we used up there was lion's mane. And some of these other ones, I don't see anything coming out of them right now. Found a bunch of different types.